like one of the most common mistakes that that I'll see from new mentee applicants who are applying to jobs is like they'll do a little research on the company, but like if they get an interview, but they won't dive into it. They won't try to take ownership. They won't try to like pretend that they actually own this business. What would you do? Like if you were Netflix today, what gets you excited? Like what kind of initiative gets you excited? Like never mind that you're not a world-class like Fortune 100 CEO or whatever. That's totally cool. It's understood. You know, you're applying to this job. It's an entry-level thing. That's totally cool, but show that you have an interest in the strategic side. Show that you have an interest in like identifying features and maybe like weird user experience patterns that they have on their website. Like, hey, you know, I tried to find movies that were similar to this, but I couldn't quite use the interface to do what I wanted to do. What do you think the odds are that other users have that problem? By the way, I built like a recommender system that does something similar. Like things that show initiative and that curiosity that over time and with training and exposure becomes business acumen. That nucleus is what you have to prove you have. And you don't have to be an all-star, but you have to show that you're interested in that skill set. And then immediately you set yourself apart from everybody who thinks life is a Kaggle competition and is showing up there and being like, you know, okay, I can code up a storm, but I don't really care about this business.
No, that's something that like I can't stress enough. I mean, in my course, that's something I talk about extensively is that, you know, I read this a while ago. I can't remember where, which is a little disappointing, but one of the largest indicators of startup success is passion for the project or the product or whatever it is, right? And I think a lot of hiring managers know that if someone is like really enthusiastic about what they're doing, they're at least going to work and try and learn the skills or do whatever it is. And every job you're applying to, like you have to find a way to love the product. You have to find a way to like create this story where it matches who you are, matches your philosophy. I remember I probably have like astronomically high conversion rates when I read a cover letter because I love the cover letter writing process. I love talking about how like, I remember I applied to, there's a like way outpunting my coverage. There's a role for like a VP of data science at one of the ski mountains that I grew up going to. And my cover letter was talking about my first experience skiing there, like a bunch of stuff not related to data science, but it's talking about like, wow, I've used your product. I love what it is and I'd love to like help expand it. I mean, like if you apply to Netflix and you weren't you didn't watch Netflix,
You're
right?
on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you shouldn't apply there. I mean, maybe you'll become a user, but that's a pretty bad acquisition strategy for users for them. If
yeah, no, totally. I mean, and I think Airbnb is legendary for this too, right? They have, at least in the early days, they insisted that literally every employee be an Airbnb maybe even host, but at least guest. And that was in a world where like Airbnb was really small community. So like this was selecting for people deeply passionate, like the early adopters of this product. Companies deeply care about that. And it's like, this is back to that theme of like, try to empathize a little bit with that hiring manager. Like think about what keeps them up at night. Think about what validates them as a human being. If you're in the room and they're like, you know, like you said, if it's Netflix and this hiring manager is a human primate like all of us, they like the idea of thinking that they're involved in something with purpose that other people would find valuable. And if they ask you like, you know, what do you think of the product? Or if you let slip that like, yeah, I don't really give a shit. I haven't used Netflix. I prefer Amazon Prime. Like that is not validating for them. Like you can understand if you were them being like, well, who is this jerk?